Like that I'm live makes me feel happy. I like to hopefully I'll have like a there we go. I have something there. Um please put something in the chat if you can hear my voice or if you're here let me know. And I'm excited today. Um Not really excited. I would say I do have some butterflies because today is some more dental work, right? I've been this thing is becoming a it's gonna it's gonna leave a mark in my life is something that I definitely had to overcome, right? And I've been stacking those up lately. Uh, all these different all these different trials in my life that I've had to overcome. And hey, Susan, wow, you're here first. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Um, it's just like lately, like I've put a lot of trials in my way, and really, it's my own fault, right? Anytime I want something in my own will, right? It seems to be difficult. And hey, Shepherd's voice. Good morning. And I would say that this thing with the dental thing is definitely tough because I wanted to get all the appointments like very close together so that I wouldn't have to like cosmetically look bad with like no teeth or something like that. And it's all just vanity, right? And it's just something to overcome. And I you know these trials come in and out of our lives, right? And we get over them, and sometimes we forget to really thank God. Like like sometimes I'll think that I'll reach a situation and I'll think that well, first I'll think, well, how do I figure this situation out, or how do I handle it the best possible way for everybody. And what I come to find out is if I think about God only, right, my relationship, and so on top of that love that I love God and I want Him to be happy with me, of course. So I want to do things that are right, and then that love kicks in, that divine love for my fellow man, right? My to love your neighbor as you would love yourself, and that is the toughest one, right? Because would you if your neighbor was down and out, right? Just like the Good Samaritan, right? If your neighbor was down and out, would you spend your very last penny to help your neighbor? That's tough. That's tough, right? And so um, I want to try to have that as much as I can, and I definitely want to say that I'm grateful for Jesus just getting me through all this stuff. And there's nothing inside me or about me that's worthy of His grace. And it's just amazing that. But like here's the issue. Now while I have uh, nothing inside of me that I've done, right, to get saved, right? No redeeming quality as far as heaven worthy, right? And and I've been given all this grace, right? And I start wondering, well, why can't other people accept this grace, right? Why can't other people? Oh, hey, AGM, nice to see you. And it's like, why? When it seems, hey, Hannah, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And so it's difficult for me to understand that, like, okay, well, I've been given this grace, right? So if there's somebody I got to deal with, or let's say people have been like I don't know. Let's say there's just a situation I have to deal with. Well, I think of my own salvation first, right? And I think, wow, like I'm so grateful just for what God has given me. What am I really willing to give another person, right? How many chances do I give them? How many, if they ask for me for forgiveness, right? If they're here to learn, right? And they're here to hear the truth, and they're here, should be critical of each other, right? We definitely should, right? But with the intention of making each other better, Like, I want you guys, when you guys walk into your, place of business, or your, wherever you go during the day, right? I want you to have a shine on you, you know? I want you to be glowing from the inside out. I want someone to say, wow, I want what that person has. That person has everything I want, right? Which is you're not going to have to worry about really what people think of you, right? And you're not going to have to worry about what people say about you. And with God's love and forgiveness, and if you serve him, beautiful heaven awaits you. It's like you have a lottery ticket that is true, that is real, right? Like, we've gotten all the confirmation that we ever could have asked for, other than, him just, coming down here and saying hello. We've gotten so much confirmation over the years, right? We start thinking of our own salvation, right? And where we're going. This is temporary, right? Where are we going, right? And it just makes everything seem so small, right? Like, yeah, like, there's things that I want to, like, deal with, and there's things I want to take care of, and I want people to like me, of course, and I want people to say nice things about me, and I want to make everybody happy if I can, right? It's just, that's just part of me, right? But um, that's really not what I'm supposed to be living for, right? I'm supposed to be living for God, right? I'm supposed to be living to make God happy. Whatever it is that I can do to make God happy is what I want to do. So that means if I have to, judge people harshly, right, in certain situations, then that's what I got to do. If it means I have to forgive 70 times 7, and, then that's what I have to do. If it means I have to do something uncomfortable and tell people that, hey, like, let's, it's always uncomfortable for me to tell anybody to do anything, to be honest. And naturally, I'm just kind of a live and let live person, right? And that's served me well. It really has, right? It really has. But we're getting to a point in time, in history, right, where we're at the end, and it's time to pick, right? You got to pick a side. You got to either pick Jesus, or you got to pick the other side. And that's going to be the difference of whether or not I can hang out with you anymore. And I never wanted it to be like that. I always wanted it to be like, well, hey, man, yeah, everyone has their own little beliefs, as long as everyone's a good person, then that's all that matters. But really good to my standards, right? Or good to human standards, right? Like, I don't know what anybody does alone in their house. So my only way to judge right now, right? Because I don't know what people do when they're not around me, is that if you are a Christian trying your best, and I see the fruits, right? Like, sometimes the fruit is not as glamorous as you think it would be, right? So how do I know if a Christian is really a Christian, and they love God and they're trying to do their best, right? What am I looking for? I'm probably looking for them to say once in a while, right? Once a day or twice a day or whatever, however, how much I'm around them, right? Maybe they'll say something like, praise God, man, that we really got through that. Or, praise we were able to achieve what we did. Or, hey, give God all the glory for, us being able to accomplish this goal together. Or praise God for giving us a chance to meet together, right? You would expect to hear that kind of stuff from a real Christian, right? Anybody can tell you with their mouth, right? I'm a Christian, and I believe that Jesus died for my sins, right? And that he was risen by God, and he ascended to heaven. Anybody could say that to me, but does this person have these little slight mannerisms that would normally be in their life if, like I couldn't imagine going a whole day, especially if something like majorly bad happened or majorly good happened, where like I'm not like, wow, man, just thank God for today, or thank God I even woke. And so, and everybody's at a different place in life, right? And so the age group here, right? So I'm sorry about that, Susan. My demographic is mostly women ages 50 to 75. And I have no idea why that is, but that seems to be the demographic. But there's some, if it's men, it's usually younger men, I don't know, middle age 30 to 50 or something like that. But so we have some youngsters though. But I just want to say it's like now that we're at the end, right? Now that we're at the very end, and we know like, okay, well, this is God's grace, right? That's getting us through. Okay, well, now this is the best way for us to judge. Who are on our team? There are people that I love dearly, right? I love dearly, and they're on the other side of this thing. And do I want them to come over? Yes, but I can't keep putting one foot in the world and one foot not in the world. I can't go out there and pretend things are real when they're not real. I just can't live the lies anymore, right? And so I want people to, I want to hang out with people that are lovers of the truth. I want to hang out with people that are, grateful. I want to hang out with people that test all things. I want to hang out with people that want me to be better tomorrow, right? I want to hang out with people that want to be better tomorrow themselves, right? And so, and if they're not that way, I want them to want to be that way or be trying. And so, if the Holy Spirit is inside you, right? Exactly. Not only care about me, but care about themselves, right? Enough to where, yeah, okay, so if someone does something, against me, yeah, sure, it makes me upset, but but do I need to go out and get revenge? Do I need to go out and like handle it? Do I need to go make a scene about it? Or can I handle these things privately and quietly and use my own. Of course, I want to take care of my stuff, right? But should my own needs, right, be elevated to a public level and offend other people, right? I don't want to do that. I want my needs to be in life, right? We know now, right? It's not just a belief anymore. We know that exists, and we know that God is Jesus. Like it couldn't be any more clear, especially with the evil in this world being as crystal clear as to who they are and who they serve. I mean, they don't have any, questions about same way, and they all work together, and they all move at the same time, and they make big moves, and they could get things done. And we're all divided up and everything. And see, part of that is good for them, right? Because we're divided up, and it's like divide and conquer, right? Of course, we're stronger together, but sometimes the division is good in the sense that at least if there's division, you got the truth, or that we're working on getting to the truth. Because when you get to the real nitty gritty and you start saying things that nobody wants to hear, you end up with 4 people in the chat, right? But these 4 people are the people that you could count on if you need something, right? Well, we got 10 in the chat now. But if it comes down to 10 or 11, right, these are the people that you can count on. And so if you think about, right, Jesus, God in the flesh, right, he could, he was doing miracles, he was healing people, he was walking on water. I mean, if he was, he made it very clear that he was God, right? The only reason why you would reject Jesus is because you end up with 12, right? Like, out of all the people that were following him around and getting healed and enjoying him, right? He had 12 disciples, right? And those were probably, I guess you get Judas out of there, right? Those are the 11 strongest people, and people willing to die for you. And so, like, we could create communities like that. Like, I don't think there'll ever be like, I'm not a teacher of the Bible or anything like that. I mean, I talk about my truth, and of course, like, there's no truth that I won't discuss. Um, I'm not triggered by flat Earth. I'm not triggered by the trans agenda. I'm not triggered by the lies on the news. I'm not triggered by fake media. I'm not triggered by health being whatever it is. I all truth, if you put it all together, right, it leads to Jesus is the truth, right? And what happens is they want each of these subjects to be separate, so that it's like, oh, I don't want to listen to that truth, or I don't want to listen to that truth, but I'll listen to these three, and it's always separate, right? And so that it always leaves the option that maybe something else is real or something else is true, Oh, exactly, Spirit Walker, and so it's just what do you what are we what are we gonna do? This is it. This is it. We're at the end. And so it especially for a truther, right? If you're a sheep out there, right, and you're a zombie, like, I mean, it's gonna, you have to get to a point where you're awake and you love the truth, or else you're gonna believe a strong delusion. And I try to tell people all the time, it's not the few that get deceived, it's the masses that get deceived. And you don't want, if you find yourself in the majority of anything, you might want to recheck your position. And oh yeah, that's great. Hey, what lurkers are welcome for sure, Camo. I'm happy to have anybody in here, to be honest. Anybody willing to listen to me ramble. I mean, I do put a lot of effort in thinking about what I'm gonna say, and I do a lot of research and stuff, and I listen to a few sermons to get pumped up. And I want to have a good message to say and something original. But what always happens is, and I'll pray right before I come on, and what I wanted to say, usually I forget all that, and then God puts something else on my heart. But I'm not a Bible teacher. I just started reading the Bible 4 years ago. I read it every day. I have read it all the way through. I've read probably the New Testament books probably 30 times each. And so that's not bragging, that's just where I'm at. And the only reason I'm comfortable with my Bible knowledge is because I know I'm going to read it today, right? I'm going to open it up today. If I was going to stop reading the Bible forever, I would not be comfortable with what I know. You know what I mean? And you know what? Sometimes people do like to hear me ramble just because I'm a person that like accepts the truth, right? It's hard to live out in the world where you got to pretend things aren't that are real that aren't real. You know, everybody's scared of invisible bugs, or they think they're on a spinning ball flying around, or they think they came from a monkey, and it's hard to live in this life and hear that. It's hard to hear that, and sometimes it just feels good for people just to tell the truth, and then not only tell the truth, but then talk about the the ultimate truth, right? There's Jesus. That this is what it all leads to. This is what all the lies are about. It's about hiding Jesus so that way we don't get our salvation. These people hate us. If you think about it, if you're a math guy, strictly a math guy, and I like math, right? I love numbers, right? If there was let's say would you gamble or roll the dice on the fact that you could be wrong, with all this confirmation that Jesus is real and died for our sins and is God himself, right? God in the flesh, right? With all the confirmation, would you even take the chance that you were wrong and roll the dice? The only reason why you would outright deny it is if you knew that he was real and you were on the other side, and you're getting you're attached to something spiritual and real, and you're getting something out of it somehow. And so this is where I take it, right? Is if you're a truther, right? I'm not saying regular sheep out there, even though they got to get together and get straightened out. And if they're not going to listen to us, it's going to be hard, right? They didn't listen to Noah either, And this is the scenario we're in. And I wonder if we're all sprinkled all over the world like we are, because we're supposed to somehow like wake up the world. And really, half the truth is out there are saying, oh yeah, you know what? We already know everything's fake and bullcrap. Let's just not be involved with it. But really, it's not about fighting for our rights and protesting, right? It's really about waking people up for salvation so we could get out of here. There's no way this many people are awake and it's going to continue for much longer. It's not. It can't. We're at the stage with the economy, right, where it's you're at the end of the monopoly game, and you know how when you have somebody completely crushed and you're just giving them money to like keep the game going because you enjoy like being on top, right? Oh, I'll give you $1,000 for that railroad, knowing that you're going to have that money back in one turn of the, one time around the board, right? It's that's what they're doing. They're giving us money to keep it rolling, and they can't do that forever, obviously. And so they can stay on top for a little while longer. They probably had it all planned out for this, right? And so they could probably give us all free money. You know what I mean? And it's insane that people think that we're, oh yeah, a couple hundred years maybe, blah blah blah. I mean, then why even say anything if you're going to think something like that? But if you're a truther, you're either a Satanist or you're a Christian. That's the way I look at it, right? That's the way I look at it. I mean, you gotta pick a side. Hey, Clutch Bear, it's nice to see you, buddy. And so, look, in Clutch Bear, you know what I believe, right? I believe the Bible is true 100%. This is what I'm putting my whole life on. And if it's not like there's a competing source with a different story that and a lot of the evil in this world is all lined up, right? I mean, it's all lined up. I mean, if you just even look at like the Apollo missions alone, I mean, the beast is Apollyon. I mean, this is there's no Jesus mission, right? Like, I know the moon missions aren't even real, but you're not going to see anything named after Jesus. This is all Antichrist stuff, right? And you're going to hear Mark of the Beast everywhere. You're going to hear that, that Freemason number everywhere. And, you're going to hear all that other stuff, And I know that all the numbers are God's numbers, and I could say whatever numbers I want. But you know what? If I have a choice not to say it, I'm not going to say it, And, I don't do that for I feel more comfortable, And so, yeah, we have to be there for each other. And I think that we need to be forgiving. And I think we also need to be critical. And I think we also need to get better. But we also got to want to get better. We also want, because the whole thing is, it's not even about, it's really not even about us. It's about think about what God gave us, And, I know that sharing the gospel, which is what I think our job is, especially us people that are awake to the truth, right? I think our job is to speak of God highly, right? And to tell people the good news that salvation is a grace period, right? It's through Jesus' sacrifice and grace. And what we can, with all my prayers and sermons that I've been hearing, we could expect some contention. It's going to be hard for us. It's going to be like it's going to be very hard. There's going to be times where we're going to preach the word and people are going to get hostile. I mean, there's places I've gone, to chat groups where I've said, hey, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and grace, and been threatened that I was going to get banned, or times where I said, praise Jesus, and people got, I mean, mad enough to fight me, And it's like, what am I really saying? I mean, how hard is it? I know people that believe in the Bible, follow the whole thing. They love Jesus, everything, right? They, everything. They're all good with Jesus, right? But they don't want the gospel. They don't want the grace. They don't want the forgiveness. They want something else. And, I think any rational human being would say, hey, look, I mean, I'd be dumb not to take that deal. That's really the best. I mean, out of all things that our Creator could be, and what's going to happen to us after this life, I think the best possible thing that can happen is happening. You know, God can't lie. We're promised. Oh, hey, exposing the wicked. I'm glad you're here. And so, like, you know, I forgot what I was going to say, but you know, oh yeah, I mean, we're gonna go to heaven. I mean, like after this, you know, we don't die, right? All the evil's gone. We're gonna be incorruptible. You know, God can't lie. He's not mean to us. He doesn't eat people, right? He's, you know, we could have been created by some weird purple blob, you know, and you know, it's violent towards us, you know, and hateful. But you know, because a creator could do whatever they want to us. They could do whatever they want. God could do whatever He wants to us, and He's a good God, right? It's not good and bad. He's good all the time, right? All the evil on earth is stuff that we created, that He has to deal with, right? And sure, we want Him to get rid of all the evil, but we don't want Him to get rid of us, right? Because that's the easiest way to get rid of the evil, is for all of us to die, and then there's no more evil, right? And it's not even about Satan, right? Because it's really about consent, right? We consent to Him, right? That's how Satan gets in our life. I mean, it's the serpent didn't go through the garden and take the apple and shove it in Eve's mouth, right? She consented to that, and that's what we do here. We created the devil, right? You know what I mean? Like we create that evil, and so when God absorbed the sin and died, right? It's like He paid the punishment that we deserve for it, and we get to still be alive, right? And when we die, we can exist with Him, right? You know, everything. I mean, He did everything that He could to keep us all together, keep us alive, and promise us something better. You know. And I mean, isn't that the most? I know shepherd's voice. I know. I was saying that in metaphor. I know this the serpent seed, and yeah, it was definitely sexual, right? But you know, you know, I'm just saying, you know, that the devil doesn't make you sin, right? And if and I think Job is one of the most important books, right? Is that in Job, right? It's like it really shows you what Satan could really do to you, right? And really, if God doesn't allow Satan to do anything to you, right, then it's really, you have to consent. I mean, look at all of Job's friends, right? They're like, you must have done something, Job. You must have done something, right? And I know that bad things happen to good people, but here's the thing: we can't say that we're innocent, right? There's a million ways to consent to the devil if they trick us into doing it, right? If you drink a soda today, right, you're consenting to drinking all those ingredients that are on the bottle, right? You drink the soda, right? Everything on that bottle and the ingredients that you can't pronounce, right? You've consented to have that in your body, right? And so every sound you hear, every image you see, every time you watch TV, every time you breathe in the air, right? You're consenting, right? You're consenting to all this stuff. And I'm not saying that anybody's bad for it, right? I'm just saying that these are variables that do matter in our life, right? And if I didn't say it, nobody would know it, right? I mean, or if somebody didn't say it to me, I wouldn't know it. No, I'm not saying that, right? Yeah, not if you're tricked, right? But there is there is ways for the devil to get you to consent to their shit, is what I'm saying. Sorry about my language. I don't really swear that often, but like it's this is what it is, you know? Like like as people, right? We're living in a time where it's almost impossible not to consent to things that are evil. I mean, even our water is messed up. I mean, water isn't something that we discovered and said, "Oh, look, we could drink this," you know? Like water was specifically created for our bodies to drink. We shouldn't have to add anything to water. you know? Like water is good for us. But if there's something in the water, right? And hey, I praise God that we even have water, and of course we could pray over it, you know. But there's all these different ways to consent, right? And so I'm not saying that anything is sin or not sin or whatever, right? I'm just saying that the devil can't get you if you don't consent to him, you know. If you resist the devil, he will flee from you, and that's scripture. And so, but hey, look, all I could say is this, guys, right? I got to keep it, between 30 and 40 minutes. So I'm going to, round it out while I'm still, before I start repeating myself. Of course, Coach Bear, it's almost impossible now in this time, right? To live and not sin or not consent to something, right? I mean, if we knew that every single sound, right, affects our brain and affects the way we think and all that, right, would we have listened to all the music we listened to? Like, there's no way for us to know. Nobody's at fault, right? But it's like all of that, good or bad, right, it affected us, right? Music is made, was created for worship. That's what it's supposed to be, singing for God, right? And how happy we are about God. If there's music about anything else, it's worship music for the devil, And I hate to say it like that, right? Because, yeah, everyone likes music, right? And I'm not saying that it's a sin to listen to music. I'm just saying understand that every sound will affect you. Because we are affected by sound, by different frequencies, by different tones and notes and all that. Hey, Level Up, I'm so glad to see you. Yeah, and if you guys want to learn more about the Bible, right? I'm just a baby in all this, right? I just started reading the Bible 4 years ago and really I was a Christian a lot longer than that, but I've only been a serious Christian with faith like this on fire for like the last 4 years. And there's people that have studied the Bible far more than I have, and know the Greek and Hebrew and all that stuff, and like go to somebody like that. Go to somebody like Paula from Level Up over here and learn that stuff, or go to somebody like Shepherd's Voice or whatever. It's somebody that has studied for a long time. And if you have studied for a long time, let me know, and then I can recommend you to other people. And so we all have different gifts. We all have different things that we do, right? And the more of us that we can get together, the better. And it's not all about kumbaya, right? We got to be critical of each other. We got to want to sharpen ourselves up. We got to want to be better. I want to be better. Trust me. When I want you guys to tell me what's up with me, because when I go into a room, I want to shine, so that people could say, "Wow, I want what that guy has," and then I could tell them about God. You know. And so I don't want to be concerned what people think of me, or afraid what someone's going to do, or any. I don't feel those feelings, because I'm here for God. That's it. That's it. I always have God. No matter what happens to me, or who hates me, or whatever, I'll always have God, you know? And so, yeah, I just want to say that I love you guys, and thank you all for showing up. This is a good group right here. Sometimes I wish that I could go for another hour just because of the group that I have in here. But I know that, for people to click on it, it's got to be within a certain time frame. And it is better to do that, because then we're on fire for tomorrow. It's good to have that momentum. And, right now I'm getting less than 100 clicks. And I really want to share this stuff to as many people as we can. And so, I just want to say that I love you guys, man. Like real love. I love you guys. In this group, this is the truth, right? Not because I have to say it, right? Yes, I'm glad you found this group too, Susan. And this is what's crazy. And I tell people all the time, for people to find this chat box is hard. You have to get through truth channels and who's telling the right truth, and then you got to what group am I in? Then where do I find someone that's also a Christian, right? It's hard to find. This group is not something you're going to stumble on. This is something that it took, a lot of digging to find where I'm at, And so you don't find this place without digging. So anyway, may everyone have a blessed day. And, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And I just want to say I love you and thank you for your support. You guys have a good one, all right?